For the love of God, stop doing burpees until you watch this entire video. Lee Weiland, Pacific Rim Athletics, and welcome to training. This is why burpees are actually done. They pump blood from your upper body to your lower body, increasing the cardiovascular load required very rapidly. It's also similar to a sprawl for wrestling, grappling, and MMA, albeit with a different technique and minus the jump. Now, are burpees bad? No. Should you stop entirely? Maybe. Depends on where you're at. But in this video, I'll explain why you should consider moving burpees to the back shelf and what you can try instead. Even several examples from our Powerbatics training. Plus, of course, we'll go way beyond mere fitness. And this applies to kids, teens, and adults up to their 70s and beyond. Me and my team of Doctorate physical therapists and elite coaches help people with everything from weight loss to injury recovery to advanced hand balancing, bodyweight strength, free running, and circ, just to name a few. And burpees just aren't on our protocols, except if we're training someone for grappling or something like that specifically. And they might be prescribed here and there for a particular reason, but I'll get into that in a bit. But I've often thought about the burpee, long before starting any kind of business or creating videos like these, which obviously don't mistake for coaching with safety, insurance, progressions, levels, and the whole 9 yards. I saw a personal trainer repetitively assigning them to clients, and it reminded me of a mosquito hovering above the water, just very superficial and no depth to training. Anyway, my personal opinions and reflections aside, number one, it's extremely easy to cheat burpees on form and intensity. As a beginner exercise, you're combining literally 5 different complex movements into one. The squat negative, the press back to plank, the push-up, the frog vault to squat position, and the jump. And not only that, but doing it at high volume and for time. Every system in the world experiences something called entropy on an engineering level, and this is a prime example of a complex system breaking down with rapid decay. And that could eventually be your back or your knees. And in reality, a very good complex movement turns into belly flopping on the floor. I'm sure you've seen it or been there. We all have. Instead, we train each of these individually. First, let's get the squat right. And even before that, get the horse stance right. I made a video on that. Then we train the upper body with correct plank and push-up positions from all angles. I made videos for each of those as well. And then train the hand balancing positions and vaults, including the frog stand and Kong vault, as well as Powerbatics katas that link all of these movements together. And then the squat jump. Feet should come together at the top and driving through the feet to full extension, not keeping your feet flexed like, say it with me, a caveman. Take the time to train each individually. And as you know, my goal and the goal of my company isn't just fitness, it's to apply these principles to all of life. And the principle this requires is patience. Patience to lose weight, patience to build correct technique, even on the little things. It doesn't need to be perfect, we are not form Nazis, but it should progress to better and better biomechanical execution, no matter where you're at. Number 2 is that it's basic. Come on, move past them already. Trainers and coaches, dare to dive into deeper waters with your clients, safely of course. I've seen burpees used as a generic catch-all move for a dozen different clients with a dozen different goals. Instead, why not master a burpee just like anything else and then add even more to it, or turn it into something else entirely, or learn a completely new skill instead, like a press handstand, muscle up, or a backflip, or combine the burpee with the aforementioned skills. Abundance. Moving towards abundance in life. Not a health and wealth gospel or get fit quick scheme, but just continuing to work and not stopping, just keeping going into deeper waters. So number 3, it's not about the sets and reps. I get asked all the time, how many sets, how many reps, how many days per week? I'll tell you right now, these principles apply to everyone. 1 to 5 reps for maximal strength development, 10 to 15 for sarcoplasmic hypertrophy and bulk, and 20 plus for endurance work. Generally speaking, okay, generally, these are not the 10 commandments, which are far more important. But beyond mere sets and reps is overall physical expression through active movement. Could be for health, for self-defense, or for art. And the burpee in its singular form is beautiful. What it's done repetitively like anything else just looks like CrossFit. Just playing, but seriously, joking, maybe. Anyway, what does moving beyond sets and reps look like? Katas. Non-repetitive movement done with speed and power, like we do in Powerbatics. Doesn't need to be martial arts, or it could have that component. Either way, it's maximum effort in a non-repetitive way. For example, Valdez burpee down, 360 burpee up, shoulder roll. That's what we call a dyna combo in Powerbatics, and several of these can come together to form a kata, be it on the floor, bar, boxes, or silks. But it takes more effort than counting to 10, and it yields much higher results. Imagine doing a set of 10 reps of an entire kata. Now we're training. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of the trainings all of our top students receive, and click any of the links below to start training. And I'll see you in the next video, or hopefully in training soon.